I'm by the way, I'm Me Hi, and welcome to my very first Transformers video. This isn't going to be a review, this is going to be a top 20 of 2020 video, and it's my very first Transformers video. Um, this list will include things that I got in the year, not things that only came out in the year. So something that came out in G1 might be on the list. Um, it's going to include stuff I bought, stuff that I've been given, or stuff people have gotten for me. This will include a couple third parties, some masterpieces, some and mainline figures as well. Another thing, these are my opinions. You can have yours. I'm not going to disagree with you because that's your opinion. If, let's say, Generations Thrust is the best figure in your opinion ever, I'm not going to argue with you. But it's my opinion, and Thrust isn't on the list that I got this year, even though I did get him this year. So let's get onto the list, and we'll see how it goes from there. So at number 20 on my list, I have Generations War for Cybertron Soundwave from 2010. Not the War for Cybertron that's going on now with Kingdom and Siege and stuff, but War for Cybertron Soundwave. I'm surprised that he's the lowest on my list. Not only because of the fact that he was one of the first that I got in the year, but he was also really fun to play with at the beginning of the year. But it didn't take long for that feeling of, oh, it's a new toy, I'm gonna have fun with it, to just kind of wear off. But I'll still pick him up every once in a while. Now, his articulation isn't the best, but he has okay articulation with a wrist swivel, head swivel, ball joint at the arm, allowing for outward, elbow, knees, no waist swivel, but that's okay. Knees, as I said, waist, thigh articulation, leg articulation, and a ball joint at the foot, allowing for an ankle pivot, which wasn't really known at the time, I guess. He has his gun that goes in and then comes back out, and he has his cannon. His robot mode, in the game I really liked it, but I don't like how the figure portrays it. I just feel like there's something missing. I don't know what, but it just feels like it is. The vehicle, I understand why they wouldn't do a boombox, but the vehicle, I don't really believe fits him, but it's an okay vehicle anyway. And the paint is very good, though. I don't really have any paint chipping except for the gold a little bit on the chest, which does come out, which you can't put anything in there. But other than that, that's my number 20 spot. Number 19, I have Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Optimus Primal. He has amazing articulation, but the paint on him, I feel, just isn't the best. There's paint chipping, especially in the legs and everything. A little bit on the arms right here. It's mainly the white plastic that's chipping, which I guess I can kind of look over, but it is upsetting. He has amazing posability. a very worrying transformation, though, because I don't trust the whole pulling this out. I feel like one day it's going to break, or it's just not going to work as well. Um, his weapons are really nice. I really like these cannons that he has on his shoulders. The gorilla mode isn't the best, but the robot mode is amazing. It very well shows the look of Beast Wars Optimus Primal. Um, and with his articulation, I'm surprised that he has. Well, recently there have been robots who have gotten these joints of opening fingers, like the Earthrise Optimus Prime and Siege Jetfire and Studio Series Hot Rod. But two of those I didn't get during 2020, and Earthrise Optimus, although he's very good, I just can't have him on here. Just didn't seem right. But that is my number 19 pick. My number 18 pick is Titans Return Chrome Dome. He's recently becoming one of my favorites, but because of my personal love for the toy, I'm not going to overlook the flaws. He doesn't have the best articulation. In what he does, it works. Other than the toe and stuff, and no arm swivel. His articulation's okay, but his posability will get in the way because of these on the back. They will clash and stuff, so you can't really get him into the best poses. His headmaster is very good. In the paint, very good on the figure, except for the headmaster. The white paint, unlike Optimus Primal, is very sturdy, and so is the blue paint. But the orange paint on the face is chipping a tiny bit. And the alt mode I absolutely love. I pick this guy up a lot and transform him, and the fact that the paint work is still as good as it is actually surprises me. I think that this toy really is very good. And the robot mode reminds me of the Headmaster's cartoon, which he was a big star in. I do have a script here that I'm reading off. I'm sorry. I couldn't fully remember everything in the order I put it. Next, at my 17 spot is Revenge of the Fallen, 2009 Sideswipe. It's basically a mini masterpiece in my opinion, but the fact that it will not stand very well, and the whole backpack and just the fact that I didn't really like Sideswipe, kind of drops it, but my liking for Sideswipe does go up with this figure because I love it. The painting is very good. I do see that it will probably chip a tiny bit in the future, but right now it is very sturdy. He's a very solid figure, and he has great posability, except no no hand swivel. You can't really get much back and forward with these soft plastic struts that are on the leg. He has a knee And another thing is this comes out of its part very easily. So that's another thing. But other than that, it is a very good figure. The alt mode is amazing. I love the Corvette Stingray that he turns into. And although when I first got him, before I transformed him, I thought this would be the front of the car. It actually turned out to be the back, which was a big surprise. And for a Transformer to give me that surprise, it really makes me happy. Another thing it's not a big problem, but the spring-loaded head really isn't the best for me. I don't like spring-loaded stuff, so that's going to not really affect too much, but it will bother me a tiny bit. At number 16, I have Generations War for Cybertron Bumblebee. Now, this Bumblebee, I really like. I love the design. He stands very well, even though he has probably the loosest feet ever. And every pose that I get him in, he just looks amazing. Like, look at that. He looks like he'll be the next hero. His two swords actually are in very good shape. They both work still. And I am very happy for that because I've heard a lot of people about, I've heard a lot of complaints about it breaking. Especially Few Adams, so go watch his video on the Generation War for Cybertron, Optimus, Bumblebee, Soundwave, and Megatron if you want to see why. The painting is very good, and the alt mode is iffy, but I can get around it. He's very round. He's, like always, every Bumblebee should be round. The posability is very good. He has a waist swivel, unlike Soundwave. Unlike Soundwave. And his head sculpt is amazing. It's probably one of my favorite things about the Generation War for Cybertron figures. The head sculpts are marvelous. Like, they're perfect. And the transformation isn't very fun, but I will find myself picking him up and transforming him every once in a while. Number 15 is a old figure that I really like. Generation 1 Red Alert. Generation 1 Red Alert was one of the very first G1 figures that I got. First I got Optimus, obviously, then I got Bumblebee, and then I got Hoist, then him. And I got Hoist and him together. Hoist is broken though, so yeah. And his alt mode is amazing. I love the G1 Countach mold that he shares with Sideswipe. But I've always found myself drawing towards Red Alert more with the colors and everything. Now, the fact that he's a G1, the novelty doesn't really affect me, but I will find myself picking him up and just gaping at how I'm actually able to have a G1 figure. Now, he is yellowed a tiny bit, but I feel like I should expect that. White plastic and paint with 40-ish years is going to affect the color and saturation of him. He doesn't have great posability, obviously, because back then it wasn't really about the posability, it was about the play factor, your imagination. And I find myself imagining so many good fights with him and Generation 1 Blot, which I also got this year but is not on the list. So that is my number 15 spot, which is Generation 1 Red Alert. My number 14 spot is Transformers Animated Lugnut. His bomber plane mode is amazing. I love the painting and the sculpting on him. From what they did do of the sculpting, there's not a lot of sculpting, but a lot of it is very good. He does have a backpack in robot mode, which I don't like, but I do feel that the weapon storage, which is the back tail fin that comes off and becomes an axe, I feel like that is very smart. And something about the whole bomber plane really plays into how he is a big, destructive machine and is just so, the look of it just looks so stupid a little bit, but in the good way. And that is why Lugnut is at number 14 on my list. Number 13 is Kingdom Warpath. I got Kingdom Warpath 2 days. Kingdom Warpath, Optimus Primal, Cyclonus, and Cheetor 2 days before the end of the year. So I shouldn't really count them, but I am, because they're amazing figures. Kingdom Warpath, though, I do have some problems with. The turret is very loose sometimes. Like, right now it's very tight, but oftentimes whenever I'm not even doing much with him, the turret will just slide out a little bit. The parts forming doesn't bother me. I never really cared for I never really had anything against parts forming, so I was okay. But the thing that does bother me about this figure is the transformation. See, with some of the Kingdom figures, I really worry for the transformation. Like with Optimus, the whole pulling the chest from the back really worries me. And for Warpath, it's the whole leg configuration transformation. Although it is ingenious, I just don't know if the plastic is going to be able to hold on to its sturdiness over years. But the posability is very good. Getting back to the positives, he doesn't really have a lot of kibble other than the tank piece, which looks pretty good just sitting there anyway. And I will not lie, I love this design better than the Generations Warpath, but the Generations Warpath transformation and everything, being as it's a little more simple, I have a lot more faith in it holding up. So that is why Warpath is at my number 13 spot. Number 12 is Takara Legends Nightbird. Now, Nightbird didn't really start off as a Transformer until she got figures. And really, this is the RC mold. And it shows that this mold is very good because absolutely outshines the Earthrise mold. Like, I would have been happy if they had to upscale this mold and just re-released it. I wouldn't have even blinked an eye because this mold is just very good. The posability is very good, although she doesn't have ankle pivot or arm hand swivel. The posability is very good. You can get her into so many poses. And although some of them won't look 100% natural because of the lack of some posability, I believe that the fact that she can get into some poses is very, very good. The painting is very good, and the head sculpt, in my opinion, is just amazing. And the alt mode is top tier whenever it comes to the Ladybots. And that is why she is my in my 12th spot. My 11th spot is Pocket Toys Tuner with his accessories. Pocket Toys Tuner is their version of Soundwave, a very good figure that is very G1 accurate. It's fun to transform. I'm even transforming it right now because every time I have it in my hands, I feel like I have to. It's like an obligation. Now, the figure is a third-party figure, and it's in the Legend scale, from if I'm correct. And the transformation is isn't that complex, but it is very easy to do and quick. His accessories are amazing. They're tiny. This is his little gun. This is his little shoulder cannon. And then for his cassettes, he comes with a very tiny Ravage, and Laserbeak and Rat Trap, who share the same transformation. But Rat Trap kind of does a little bit more. And they're all super small, so I fear that they might not be the sturdiest, but they so far feel very good. So there is Ravage, Ratbat, and Laserbeak. And Tuner looks amazing as a Soundwave. That is why he is in my number 11 spot. Number 10 is Transformers 2007 movie Scout. I'm pretty sure he's a Scout. Sunspot. Sunspot was a figure that some of these figures I was given by my friend. In fact, I can guarantee about 4 of them are, I want to say. And this was one of them. Sunspot is a very adorable little plain dude, and he has spring-loaded feet, which does bother me a little bit. It gets in the way and everything, but I can look past it because of how small he is and how fun he is to transform. The painting is amazing. The sculpting is amazing. Um, and the face sculpt is one of my favorites. Um, and all of those factors lead him to being one of my favorite Transformers ever. So that is why he is my top number 10 choice on this list. Number 9 is Generation 1 Kup, which a lot of people might get mad at me for because he is known as one of the worst Generation 1 figures ever. And I'll agree to a certain extent, but he's the fun kind of bad. I often find myself transforming him like I am now, and although the robot mode looks nothing like how it should, I find myself loving it a lot more than some of the other figures that I have of Kup. It's just super fun to transform, and the painting is kind of terrible now. Over the years, it's been just kind of sitting in someone else's collection until I got him, and now he's being, well, he was very loved, very much, but it seemed like he was getting sat in like someone's shelf and then left alone until I got him, and now he's getting loved again. I love this figure, and nothing will stand in my way of loving this figure. And that was a terrible G1 movie reference to the song "Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way." Now this one with Kup as well, I'm not going to lie, the novelty is just amazing. I find myself loving this figure because of the novelty, and it just hasn't worn off. This is one I'm not going to lie about. I still don't see much bad in him, other than just how he looks nothing like the show or movie counterpart. But then again, neither does Red Alert or the Wheeljack. They won't look just like the show, and although he looks the worst out of all of them, he can't help but be one of my favorites. Number 8 is Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Dark Energon Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime. This was a fun Transformer. Whenever I first got him, I got him for free because my manager at my work got in some Transformers and she had nowhere to put him and a couple others. So I just was able to get him and not have to pay for him, unlike some of the others that I got from my work. And I find his transformation extremely fun and easy, actually. A lot of people who I have played, or not really played with, I don't know why I said people, a lot of Transformers who I've played with are really just complex, and they try to be complex because of modern engineering. But with this one, I feel like he is just right there. He's complex but easy to transform. Because it's not like there's something we haven't ever seen before. Maybe back then there is, but really right now there isn't. The clear plastic doesn't really worry me. I feel like it's very sturdy and everything. The painting that there is amazing, and the whole exclusivity surprised me because I thought it was just a modern retail release, like they re-released it and stuff. But you know, at first I thought this was the whenever I first picked him up, I didn't really look at him. I just grabbed him and then said, this, and this are the ones can I take? And they said, yeah. But at first I thought this was the Optimus Prime based on the episode where he becomes Orion Pax again, reverting back to Orion Pax after going into Unicron. But no. I only thought that because of the head. That was the only thing I really looked at. But I was wrong. It's the Big Bad Toy Store Dark Energon Optimus Prime. The posability isn't the best, but I feel like I should give it a pass because it is above normal for figures at that time. Not by too much, but like a couple of joints more. And I find it extremely fun to play with. So that is my number 8 pick. My number 7 pick for my top 20 of 2020 is War for Cybertron 2010 Megatron. Don't expect 2010 Optimus Prime. I don't have him. I hope I can get him during 2021. I have seen the Fall of Cybertron Optimus, but I really want a War for Cybertron Optimus. War for Cybertron Megatron is just amazing, though. The painting is perfect. The fusion cannon is the best fusion cannon we've probably ever seen, since that isn't trying to mimic the G1, because the G1's always going to be the best. His missile, although it did just shoot out, that was my fault. I was hitting the button that shoots it. But the head sculpt, although, is amazing. And I love this Decepticon on the back. It's the Decepticon symbol on the back. It's amazing. And he has the one up front. I find myself picking this guy up more often than even the people that are ahead of him on this list. He is just fun to play with so much. And the posability is on par with most modern Transformers. If not slightly better, in my opinion. So that is why he is on my number 7 spot. Number 6 is Kingdom Cyclonus from the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. He has amazing posability as well, and no kibble. Like, how? Him and this Soundwave have probably got the best kibble management ever. Also, this Megatron, I forgot about him, have probably got the best kibble management ever. There's also a couple more on here that have great kibble management, but this has got to be one of the best I have ever seen. The head sculpt is amazing. The chest is perfect. I love the chest. The only problem that I have with it is the alt mode, which won't always plug in all the way, if ever. I don't think ever since I first transformed it, it has plugged in. Right. The first time was the only time. But it is a very fun transformer, and that's the only thing that worries me about it. So he has probably the smallest worry for me out of all the Kingdom figures so far, other than Cheetor, because I don't have any worries for him. But I don't like him as much as the others on this list. Number 5, it's Earthrise Skylynx. He is so big, and it's so... I don't understand why big things are just so impressive sometimes. Like, he is massive, and I love him. His posability is probably the best ever out of a single figure. He has 4 ankle pivots for all 4 of his feet. He has the wings, everything that he needs. He has ratchets at his head. It's just, they are amazing. He has a head tilt, which gets him quizzical, and I love it. He has the tail, perfect. And although his alt modes are fun, I love the spaceship and I love the loading dock. That's what I call it. It's just sad that I don't want to transform him. Not that it's not fun to do, not that it's hard to do, but because this is the best mode in Transformers history. It is just so weird and so amazing. And before I even got him, I was thinking again the Combiner Wars one. But no. This guy is he's just amazing. He's as big as a cat or a small puppy. Like, it's just amazing. I cannot love this figure enough. And I'm surprised he isn't higher, but he's just amazing. Get one if you can. It's really hard to beat him. I'm not gonna lie, but just because of how good he is, I can't really fault him too much. With the top 5 of my list, they're all going to be very close to. They would be like the honorable mention. They would be the honorable mentions for number 1. But the honorable mentions on my list are for characters who didn't make it into the number 20 spot. So top 5 and up are all equal to number 1. So just remember that. So moving on. Siege Spinister. Where I live, we just didn't get him. We did not get him at all. So I had to go to Tennessee just to get him, and it was such a good trip. I got him and Crosshairs, which we also didn't get, and I'm so happy I did. The posability is the best, the sculpting, the painting, everything. I don't really mind the scuff on any of the figures. They're all pretty good. and his transformation is fun. It is the best transformation for Helicopter I have seen in a while. And the one that I had that of Transformers Helicopter transformations that I have at second, I don't even have anymore. I got rid of him, and I think it was Tomahawk. I think that was his name. But I love this figure. You should get him and Skylynx if possible. He's amazing. Just please, please get him. Number 3, I have Titans Return, Battle Trap. Road Trap and Battle Slash. They combine into Battle Trap, and because of that, I can't have them separate. I love both of them equally, but Battle Trap is the best deluxe figure that has probably ever been made. He has an ab crunch. You barely get those ever in a mainline figure. So the fact that we got it with Battle Trap, of all people, or of all characters, is just amazing. The painting is amazing. The sculpting is minimal, but amazing as well. And the transformations are fun, easy. Like, I can even overlook the flaws with Battle Traps, with Road Traps mode, with the head poking out and just the hands only being covered by the wheels. It's okay for me. I can deal with it. I love this figure, and I'm surprised I was able to get one, because we didn't get one here, just like Spinister and Crosshairs. Number 2 is BotCon TFCC club subscription exclusive Jazz from Transformers Animated. I didn't know that's who this was. I thought this was Ricochet. It would make sense for it to be Ricochet anyway, but it's not, and I'm super surprised by that. But the transformation is fun. The painting is amazing. The look of the robot is amazing as well, and the posability is, he has about every joint needed for a modern Transformer. So just like War for Cybertron Megatron, he could probably be made around this time, and it would be great. Again, sorry. Also, sorry for kicking the camera. And then for some honorable mentions, we have at the number 5, G1 Swindle. Amazing fun, small, and to the point. I love this figure. You basically, I don't really want the rest of the Combaticons, but he's making me think about getting them. The transformation is easy, fun, and I can just go back and forth so many times without feeling like it's getting boring. It's a fun Transformer, and I recommend it to anyone. Let's keep him there. He's so small, he's perfectly fine. Transformers 2011 Cyberverse Crowbar or Crankcase. I don't care, to be honest, what his name is. It's just a fun figure for me, and being able to have it, this was one that my friend gave me. My friend also gave me the next two other figures in my honorable mentions. Um, he's super small and very fun to transform, in my opinion. Um, and his alt mode is very sleek. He turns into the GMC like he did in the movie. I don't know exactly what kind, but it was a. I'm losing my voice, but it was a very cool vehicle, um, and I really like that. And how small he is definitely makes him very cool. Next is Generations Warpath. Um, Generations Warpath was one that my friend gave me as well. Go check out his channel, Grin with Gavin. It's a very cool channel. He does gaming videos, and you might really like his content if you like the games that he plays. Warpath is probably the first H-Tank that doesn't look like it's a robot lying down, face front. And the transformation is very fun. Like I said with Warpath, I don't feel like this one will break at all, ever. The small paint that he does have is perfectly fine. His sculpting is amazing as well, and the head sculpt is top tier, in my opinion. Um, it's just a shame that they didn't go with a toon accurate head sculpt, but I do love this head sculpt as well. Next in my honorable mentions is Masterpiece Movie Barricade. Masterpiece Movie Barricade is hefty because of the multiple die-cast metal bits on him. And the only problem that I have with it is the head sculpt. Or not the head sculpt itself, it's the fact that the head is super loose on my copy. The sculpting and painting is top tier, as you would expect from a masterpiece. The transformation is fun, intuitive, and I really like transforming it. Just the fact that it's here surprises me because I don't really collect masterpieces. The only masterpieces I have is Masterpiece Movie Ratchet, Masterpiece Sideswipe, and I have two third-party masterpieces, MPP 10 Optimus Prime and Bad Cube Sun Surge. Not including this guy and the other one that's on my list. He is a super fun transformer, and I recommend him. I got him for about $50. He might have to pay a little more than that than I did, but it was very much worth it. And my final honorable mention is Generations Cup. Cup has recently just been on my radar. I got this around the same time as the G1, if not like a month after. The posability blew me away. Although he doesn't have a waist swivel for reasons due to transformation, he does have ankle pivots, which around Generations time as well wasn't very common, as much as it is in Siege, with every single figure having a ankle pivot, and Earthrise with every single figure having an ankle pivot, and Kingdom, from what I've seen, every single figure having an ankle pivot. The head sculpt with the grimace that he is doing really makes me feel like it's Cup. the grumpy old man that yells at Hot Rod. He comes with a sniper, or a shotgun, I mean, that has very good weapon storage as well. And his truck reminds me of a Ute from Australia, but it probably isn't that. But that is Cup. He is my final honorable mention. And for number one on my list is movie masterpiece Starscream. He is so big, not to the point where it's impressive, but to the point where I just can't really storm in any other way other than robot mode. And the only reason he's in alt mode is because I was playing with him earlier, and he has such a good transformation. I love it. The transformation is probably top tier, and I can't recommend it more. He's very hefty due to die-cast metal, and the Lockheed F-22 Raptor is a very good plane for Starscream. And I've always liked this design for Starscream. I never really liked any of the other movie designs, but this Starscream design really made me feel, yeah, maybe some of these designs are good, and some of them are, but Starscream was definitely the best out of all 5 films, and he wasn't even in 2. So in my opinion, Starscream Masterpiece movie is the best figure that I have gotten all year. I would really like to thank my friend at Grin with Gavin. Go check out his YouTube channel. He gave me his Transformers, and I'm super glad that he did, because he's not a Transformers fan, but I am. And although I'm not into some of the stuff he's into, I'll get him stuff, and he's given me his Transformers. So it's really like we're trading, but his stuff is just, I mean, his Transformers were just making me super happy because I didn't have them. Sunspot was one that I kept looking for, and I knew he had it, and then I finally asked if he would just give me some of his Transformers, and he said, yeah, you can have all of them. So go check out his YouTube channel. He plays video games, and he has a fairly regular upload schedule. So please go subscribe to him, subscribe to me, you can put in your own lists of the 2020 figures that you got this year, and I will try and respond. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.